Good morning, Hart Elementary. It's Thursday. Happy Thursday. This is actually going to be the last day of the school week this week because tomorrow is school holiday for Good Friday. All right, so I'm going to give you a quick little rundown of the news, your cultural activity for the day, and then maybe talk about some fun inside activities you can do for Easter instead of all the usual outside activities we do. All right, so we're going to be real quick today, and this is going to be your last day before the break, so I will not be assigning a packet or a writing assignment today. What I will be assigning is the cultural activity. So you're going to do kind of like you guys did for the Google Arts and Culture thing, where I'm going to send you on that cultural activity and you're going to tell me about one of the things that you saw there. Okay, and I'm not going to tell you what the cultural activity is until later on in the end of the video to make sure you're watching the whole video. Okay, because I can see on YouTube how long people watch the videos for, and you're not watching them all the way through. Okay, so I need you guys to watch them all the way through, so I'm not going to tell you what the cultural activity is for the video until the end. I will, of course, give you all the links that you need, but I'm not going to tell you what your activity is. Okay, you're going to have to get that from me. All right, starting off, yesterday there was another press conference with Greg Abbott, our governor. He does one once a week, so every week I'll be going over it with you guys. Okay, so he, stop touching my face. I'm the worst about that. My hands. And I wash them constantly, but I still touch them. We need to all stop touching our faces, so hands away, okay? Ooh. A lot of people not in the medical sector are pitching in to help out our healthcare worker friends. So right now in Texas, we have oil field workers creating boxes that can protect face screens to protect doctors who are working on COVID patients. We have people, companies like Toyota, working to create face shields. A&M engineers are helping out and pitching all that they've got, and helping make personal face masks. So your Texas community is stepping it up to pitch in and make things happen so that we can help all of our healthcare workers during this time. Okay, so we also have we did get approval of the maximum amount of SNAP benefits. So SNAP is a food resource system. It's kind of like food stamps. Okay, so we got the federal government to give us funds so that we can send out as much money per family as the maximum amount allows. Okay, so if you're a family of 5, then the SNAP benefits are going to be the maximum amount of money that you can send to a family of 5. So that's going to be a jump up for some people, which is really good, and it allows people to help get what they need when they need it. Okay, so we also have the governor announced that starting soon, we haven't heard a date yet, but starting soon, Walgreens will start allowing drive-through testing for COVID. Okay, so they're gonna have drive-through tests that are gonna be really quick and easy. So they'll just stick the swab up in there, give your test, and you can move on. All right, so this is the hope that Texas can be better about testing over whole communities, so we know, who has it, who doesn't, who needs to isolate, who's okay, and we can go on like that. Okay, so testing is the best way that we can move forward as a community, because that means that we know where the disease is, where it isn't, and how we can, isolate some people and what patterns it's spreading in, and we can keep everybody as safe as they can possibly be. All right, so Easter this weekend, yay. You can, usually whenever we have Easter, you go have a big outside hunt. You maybe hang out with family, like you go over and have like a big family meal. You might go to church and hang out with everybody. So a lot of that stuff can't happen this year. Okay, so things are going to need to shift around a little bit, but don't worry because there are a lot of inside fun activities that you can do for Easter with you and your family. Okay, so one big thing that I find that's fun over Easter is decorating eggs. Okay, so I really like to decorate eggs, and my mom and I do this, and we really love it, and we get really into it. So you can decorate eggs at home, and there are a lot of really, really fun tutorials and stuff. So you can either take a real egg, but you might want to eat that real egg, and if you dye it, you probably don't want to eat it. Okay, so one good thing you can do is you can poke the little hole in the egg so all the stuff comes out, and you make scrambled eggs with the leftovers, and then you can dye the regular egg. Or you can buy fake eggs. Okay, so stores like Joann's and Michael's, and even, I'm sure like Target and Walmart and HEB and stuff have fake versions of eggs that you can, paint and color and dye, and you can get those, through online pickup. So you don't have to go into the store, but if you are going to the store for groceries, you can jump on over to the Easter section and see if there are any of those. And there's a lot of really fun things you can draw on your Easter eggs. So I actually want to challenge you guys, if any of you do decorate eggs this weekend, go ahead and snap me a pic, okay? I'll send you a pic of the eggs we decorate, and you guys can show me yours, and we can have like a little egg exchange like that, okay? You can also make, instead of buying all of that candy from the store, you can make homemade sweets, okay? So some homemade egg-shaped cookies or bunny cookies, or even if you search online, there are a lot of fun things where you can make your like homemade candy bars and cupcakes and brownies and all sorts of fun stuff at home. And then it's a good opportunity for you to spend time with your family cooking. You guys can make it like a family activity where you make all the sweets together, and you can save a little bit of money because you're not spending all that money on candy. You're spending it on each other. What? All right. You can also play lots of games, okay? So instead of, like hide all the Easter eggs in the house and hide them really, really, really hard, and you can make a game out of that, like who gets the most. But then also you can play like Scrabble, but only use like Easter themed words. Or you can play Clue, but like all of the like packages are like about Easter stuff. So there's lots of fun ways you can like switch games up to make them fit any holiday. And Easter is definitely one of those things. Okay, the biggest thing is churches have been deemed essential by Governor Abbott, but we do know that we should not be going to places where you're going to be with a lot of people, or that you guys are going to be close to each other, or you're all going to be touching the same thing. So I encourage everybody to check and see. A lot of churches are making digital versions of their services where you can get it online or through the radio, or they're even recording them and sending them out, so you can get services that way. Or if your church isn't doing that, I know there are a lot of churches that are, so you can always hop in on one of their broadcasts, just so that we can make sure that we keep each other safe by, staying apart, but we're all in this together, okay? So apart together is the TEA's motto for this time of like, we're staying apart so that we can all help each other. So we're doing this together. We're all in this together, just 6 feet away. All right. So that's all of the stuff I have for, Easter and news and stuff. Like I said, not a lot of news going on today. So I wanted to keep you guys up to date on that. There is one big thing in the news. Like, remember yesterday I talked about how Bernie Sanders was stepping back, like the Michigan campaign, Bernie versus Biden. So Bernie Sanders has actually suspended his campaign. What that means is what he is doing is he is not campaigning actively anymore. He still counts himself on the ballot, so you can still go and vote, and he will get more delegates. And that could determine what the Democratic Party's stance is going forward, because more delegates get to vote in the conventions, so it can help change policy if you want it, more one way than the other way. A good way to do that is still, encourage people in primary states to still vote. But yes, Biden will be the nominee. So in November, if we have a presidential election, it will be President Trump, the incumbent. So that means the person who's already president, versus Joe Biden, who will be the Democratic nominee. Okay, so those two people, we're looking at them for November. Okay, so we're starting to think about which one do we want to be president and who do we want to decide things. There's some Senate things going through too, so don't forget to vote for senators as well, because some of those people are up on the ballot. So it's not just all about the presidents, because you have judges and sheriffs and all sorts of people on ballots every year. So, but the big one is going to be our president. Okay, and 2 Supreme Court seats are probably going to be up in the next 4 years or so. So this presidency could actually make a big difference in our Supreme Court. Okay, so we could have a Supreme Court that was mostly chosen by Republican presidents, or we could have a Supreme Court that was mostly chosen by Democratic Democratic presidents, and those are going to be those are going to be there for life. Remember, they have life terms, so that's going to last a long time. So we want to make sure that whatever you want to happen now, you vote for in November, so that, years from now, when all those people are voting on all of those all of those Supreme Court cases, that it goes the way that you think it should. So that's why it matters now for future reference. Okay, so I encourage you guys to do some research, but like I said, these will be in November, so we will get to talk about it later when the presidential election comes much closer. Okay, so right now you still have months to worry about it. Okay, so your cultural activity for the day is actually going to be going through the Smithsonian's Natural History Museum. Okay, so you can go through the Smithsonian Natural History Museum and you can see all of these. So they have that's actually the museum that has the dinosaurs and whales and Egyptians and all sorts of great stuff. So you guys remember the second night at the museum, I think. Yes, not the first one, but the second one, okay? Where they went to the Smithsonian, Washington, D.C. So the Smithsonian is a museum complex in Washington, D.C. that has a ton of museums in it. So it's a big, wide complex. So they have the Air and Space Museum, they have the Natural History Museum, they have the Modern Art, they have the Pop Culture, they have all sorts of beautiful, wonderful museums. But the Natural History Museum has a really great tour walkthrough where you can do a 360 view of all sorts of exhibits. And I really encourage you guys to check it out. And that is your assignment for the day, is to find an exhibit that you really like at the Natural History Museum. And then you're going to tell me what exhibit it is. Okay. And then you're going to tell me why you like it. So describe it, say why you like it, and then you're going to submit it to me. Okay, and you can do this today, tomorrow, Saturday. You have the whole weekend to work on this, but don't forget. So it might be better to just go ahead and do it today. Okay, so I will have the links for that below, and I will also send them out through Class Dojo. But I am wishing you all a very happy Thursday and a happy weekend. All right, bye-bye.